In the dusty heart of Abo, where the air carried the scent of roasted groundnuts and dreams danced with the wind, there lived a woman so beautiful it hurt to look at her. Her name was Amoka. She sold puff-puff and buns in a tray every afternoon along Ogbo Hill. Her waist swayed like a lullaby, her voice softer than velvet, and her face was carved like a goddess. People said her skin glowed even under Harmattan's harsh breath.
Whoa!
Men drooled. Boys stumbled. Husbands forgot their homes. But Amoka never gave her heart, only her smile. Because behind those eyes lay a serpent. She was no ordinary village girl. Unknown to all, Amoka was bound to a covenant with a dark marine spirit. Every full moon, she had to offer the soul of a man she had slept with, using her irresistible beauty as bait. Her eyes could weaken even the strongest will, her touch bewitched, and her embrace sealed fates. They called her Eden Nakumu, the daughter of the Great Spirit. She had sworn a pact to feed her spiritual master the souls of lustful men in exchange for youth, power, and protection. But fate always writes with crooked lines. One hot Tuesday morning, as she handed change to a young customer, her eyes met Ikenna, a 27-year-old computer engineer who had just returned from Abuja to care for his widowed mother. He was handsome, disciplined, prayerful, and completely unaware of the spirit world Amoka walked in. Amoka smiled as she usually did, but this time, something in her chest fluttered. Day after day, Ikenna passed by. One morning, he bought her snacks. Then he offered to walk her home. He spoke gently, and unlike the others, didn't chase her with his eyes. Instead, he listened. Listened to her made-up story about a sick mother and a lost father. Listened to the fiction she told with tears in her eyes. She didn't notice when fiction turned into feeling. By month's end, Ikenna was in love. And strangely, so was she. Her priest warned her, "You must not fall. Love will weaken your gift. Destroy him or be destroyed." But love had already made a home in her. Within 6 months, Ikenna proposed. His mother, Mama Uju, was hesitant. Not because of Amoka's background, but because of what her spirit sensed. As tradition demanded, Mama Uju took Amoka to their family pastor, Pastor Elijah. The pastor smiled politely, but that night, he went into deep prayers. For 3 days, he fasted. On the third night, God showed him something terrifying. In a vision, he saw Amoka transforming, her body stretching, her eyes glowing yellow, her tongue split. She became a serpent, coiled in blood, surrounded by screaming male faces. Pastor Elijah trembled. He rushed to Mama Uju. "Your son is under a spell. This girl is not who she appears to be." Mama Uju cried and rushed to her son. But Ikenna, already enchanted, refused to listen. His eyes were distant. His words sharp. "I love her, Mama. You don't know her like I do." Mama Uju cried. She fasted. She prayed. She called relatives. Nothing worked. The wedding date was fixed. It was a radiant Saturday. The church was packed. Guests whispered about the beautiful bride. Amoka, dressed in shimmering white, looked like an angel sent to earth. But her smile hid the war in her spirit. She wanted this to end differently. The villagers whispered about her beauty. Ikenna stood at the altar, dazed by her presence. As the priest said, "If anyone objects to this union." Suddenly, the church doors banged open. Pastor Elijah and Mama Uju stormed in, hands raised in fiery prayer. "Jehovah, reveal your truth. Let no covenant of darkness stand in your house." At first, Amoka laughed nervously. Then her feet trembled. The ground beneath her cracked. A hissing filled the room. Before the crowd's eyes, her beautiful eyes turned golden. Her fingers twisted. Her tongue split. Amoka screamed and collapsed. But as her body writhed, it began to transform. Scales erupted. Her wedding gown tore. And there, in the middle of the altar, lay a gigantic serpent. People fled. Ikenna, finally freed from her spell, collapsed in horror. The spirit left her, and her human body returned, weak, crying, and whispering, "I loved you." But it was too late. The wedding was called off. Amoka vanished after that day. Some say she returned to the forest. Others say she died that night. But Ikenna, he was never the same. He couldn't love again. He couldn't trust again. The villagers still speak of her, the beauty who loved too late, and the man who almost gave his soul to a serpent in love. Beware of deception cloaked in beauty. Not everyone who appears kind and innocent has good intentions. It's important to seek wisdom, trust your instincts, and listen to the counsel of those who truly care about you. Love should never blind you to the truth. Ultimately, evil may disguise itself for a time, but it cannot hide forever. Truth will always be revealed. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you did, please give it a like, drop a comment sharing what you learned from the tale, and don't forget to subscribe for more captivating stories just like this one. Thank you for watching.